All right. Hey, everybody, and welcome back for another episode of the Awkward Watersport Guys podcast. We are here with a special guest, not just a guest, but one of our newest corporate partners and newest sponsor of the port, Brian Mazanti of KCBK Group. Brian, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me. We're excited.
Yeah, awesome. And we're going to get into the interview here with Brian, but we're really excited to announce a couple really exciting things that we're doing. One is obviously, if you haven't listened to the show in a while, yes, we've kind of taken a little bit of a hiatus, trips, vacations, things like that. But we do have port tickets. Our new spring special is going to start by the time you hear the show. We have $40 off port tickets. If you go to watersportpodcast.com, you can grab your tickets for the special. This ends May 31st. And obviously we'll have more promotions after this one ends. But if you want to save more money, the earlier you book, the better. And we actually had like one of our hottest starts to the port tickets. Like we're like 4 or 5x higher than we were last year this time. So like I truly think like this event might sell out this year. So
I thought you were going to say hottest star. I was like, hotter than the stars of the port stage that we currently have? More hotter than Kai Capro, Justin Buzzy, hotter than me? Nobody's hotter. I'm the hottest star on that stage.
Yeah.
Hot start.
We got some hot start. Yeah.
Listen, Brian's a looker himself. I'll tell you that mustache.
Thank you. Everywhere I go, this is a joke between my wife and I. Everywhere we go, people randomly ask me, they're like, so you firefighter? Like, nope. Absolutely not. I don't get asked about my life anywhere else, but I'm talking like baristas, checkout people at the supermarkets. They're like, by the way, you a firefighter?
Yeah, well, that's because you're setting fires to their pants.
Man, so shout out to all the firefighters and first responders.
Yeah.
Hey, babe, did you hear that?
So since we have Brian on the show, when we decided to work together with them, they were really excited about sponsoring the port. But in addition to that, they wanted to sponsor the jet ski trailer competition. If you haven't heard or haven't seen on our Facebook group all the photos and the excitement over this competition, this was like the highlight of the port. Really fun event. And this year we're stepping it up in a huge way. Thanks to our sponsorship with Brian and KCBK Group. We're going to be giving away a double jet ski trailer to the winner. And I'm going to let Brian quickly just kind of tell us a little bit about this giveaway here, because this is huge. I mean, it's like what, a $4,000 value for this.
Yeah.
This is huge.
So we are very lucky to work with awesome brands who, we'll get into this, right? But
yeah,
they totally understand the rental and club part of the marine industry. And that's why we work with them, is because they get it. And our trailer partner, Easy Loader, we got to give them credit. They're awesome about this and pumped about it. So KCBK Group partnering with Easy Loader, we're going to give away a aluminum double watercraft trailer at the event to the winner. So
that's huge.
And it shouldn't be stated enough that like we have limited spots for this for the participants in it. Obviously, everyone, just like last year, is going to be viewing it, but registered members of the port are only going to be able to sign up for the jet ski trailer parking competition. So to double down on what Greg said, book now, save some money, but also if you want to get an opportunity to win, like this got to retail at least $5-6 grand, right?
Yeah, something around there. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, we all know as water sports operators, especially in the jet ski portion of it, double jet ski trailers, especially well-built ones, are not cheap.
And we'll do the wrestling belt too. Wrestling belt.
I don't know about all that. A trailer and a belt? Like, come on, man.
The belt's just part of it. I mean, they just to walk in, put it over your shoulder. But so there is a maximum of 25 spots for the jet ski trailer parking competition. So you have to buy a ticket, and it's basically whoever buys tickets first and signs up, that's it. If you sign up real late for the jet ski trailer parking competition and don't have a ticket, you might be out of luck. So get your ticket first. We'll have a sign up form here. Now that we have our prize and our sponsor for it, we're going to create a sheet to sign up. We'll share it in the group. We'll email everybody, but definitely get on there early. And we have another competition too, but we're going to announce that a little bit later. We don't want to give away all the exciting news and events. But in addition to that, our group coaching classes, they start actually this month. April 15th is our first peer coaching class, and we have some amazing operators that are joining it. This is something that if you can't make, sign up this month, maybe next month, but we do want a year commitment to this. But you can sign up to this, and it's a once a month meeting with some of the probably the best operators I think that are really just crushing it. And Kevin and I are going to be leading these groups, and you can pressure test ideas. You can get feedback. We can do website reviews, whatever kind of is the topic of the month that we're going to cover. So if you go to our website, watersportpodcast.com, there's a link for group coaching where you can apply. Not everybody is a good fit, so we have to kind of review and see, if it's a good fit for our coaching. But we love to have you in our group.
Mostly you're going to learn how to not do dumb shit, which like 99% of all of us do. So
yeah, that too.
Yeah, you're going to save you some money there from making dumb mistakes like you all like to do.
Yeah. Well, I think that's about all the, do we have anything else? We hit 4,000 members in our Facebook group.
I got nothing else to pitch them, man. I'm doing a garage sale. You guys want to come by and buy some of my stuff? We could do that. But I'm out of pitch. I got nothing more to pitch them here, Greg. Are we done beating them over the head?
I think we pitched enough. Yeah.
Can we get Brian to start allowing him to pitch now, please?
Yeah.
This is going to get real greasy real fast. Here we go. Buckle up.
Like grease, like the wheels on our brand new trailers. Available.
But I also interest you in some mustache wax.
Well, man, Brian, welcome to the show, man. Yeah, we're glad to have you. If you'd like, man, give us give us the elevator pitch, a little bit of backstory, man. What do you do? Who are you? What's your favorite color?
Yeah, well, according to my daughters, it's blue, and they're always right. But so my family, the Mazanti family, is from Washington State, and without backing up too far, we have always been a water family. We grew up in and around the Puget Sound. My grandparents had a place right in Case Inlet, so 45 minutes directly west of Tacoma, for those of you that know the area, over the big bridge, and out into a really nice, just beautiful rural spot. And so I grew up boating. I was extremely fortunate to have parents who were into boats, and I guess their parents got them into boats. But my mom and dad were water sports reps back in the day. They were kind of a tag team in their early 20s. In the winter, they would do snow stuff. They repped, Hart and Royce and Bogner. And then in the summer, they did the same things with, water skis and boats. And they went around to the tournament water ski circuit up in the Northwest and that whole thing. And so when I came around and my sister came around, we were raised on knee boards and water skis and sailboards, and they have all kinds of funny, photos of us 2 years old bobbing around in the sound out there after we fell off of something or other. But, so the salt is in our blood and boating's in our blood.
What do you mean by reps? Like sales reps?
Yeah, they were so my dad, well, funny that I get mistaken for a firefighter, but my dad was actually a firefighter in Auburn, Washington for a long time. And, their schedule is a few days a week. And so in the off time, he was supplementing that by being a sales rep. And so he was a road rep. He would go around and, sell water skis and ski ropes and, snow skis and all the rest of it in his territory. And it was just always built around fun. So, he's built his career around selling fun stuff, and I followed suit, and I went kind of a different direction and eventually have kind of come back into the family business. But it was a really cool childhood, just growing up around, water and boats and camping and skiing, really, really good memories.
So the business today, what is it that, What is it that you guys do? Who do you service? Like, walk us through like what that looks like today. How long in business, XYZ?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say it stems from Kyle's experience, and without getting too much into the history, but he was working for Regal Boats like most recently, directly before this, and was manager of the West Coast region. And back in 2008 was really the impetus like for this idea of specifically servicing, like commercial customers, boat clubs, boat rentals, etc. He was, managing dealer business. He had done it before with Bombardier, before that with Bayliner. In 2008, when everything kind of tanked, he needed to pivot to keep things flowing, and he, started looking into boat rentals and boat clubs, and successfully, did that and kept the lights on. And so, from 2008 to, let's call it like 2020, right? I think that was like kind of marinating in the back of his head, and I was off, doing my career, in the outdoor world, and traveling all over the world selling bikes. And so I kind of went that direction with my job. And, at some point during COVID, we were talking about doing something together and, starting a business, and specifically, going after and supporting the rental customers. And so we did. And we started with Regal, and, that was just an easy one, right? Because he was already working with them and had a ton of experience, and they were already supporting, rental and club business. But then from my background, it was super common for sales reps to have, multiple products, right? And so that was one of my early suggestions, not knowing as much about the marine industry, but I said, hey, we should really have like a few different boat lines, stuff that doesn't really, overlap with each other, but, something to offer everything, because you can't sell one type of boat to everybody across the country. It's just doesn't work like that. So we started working with a few different companies. We were lucky enough to get hooked up with C-Pro. Shout out to Jimmy Hancock over there at C-Pro. And Stingray boats shortly after, well, like maybe a year or so after that. And then one of our most recent partners is Aloha Pontoons out of Little Rock, Arkansas. And then, that's over the course of, the last 2 or 3 years. Easy Loader was one of our early, actually they were one of our earliest partners as well. People need boats. It makes sense to have a trailer. And then we have a couple really good referral partners. In fact, the folks that turned us on to you guys were Boat Fix.
Yeah.
And that's just one of the, so shout out to Kevin at Boat Fix. And they've been awesome. And our relationship with them is purely just, connecting good people with good people. So we share some contacts there. We have an awesome lender for boat rentals, for commercial lending, equipment lending. We have a liquidation partner in Pop Cells. And so, the whole point of what KCBK Group does has really evolved into this idea that like, hey, we fully believe that, rentals and boat clubs are part of our super healthy marine industry. And by the way, a healthy rental and club business is also going to help the retail business. So we firmly believe that like whatever we're doing is ultimately going to help dealers, is going to help OEMs. And we think it's not a zero-sum game, right? Like if it's done correctly, everybody can win. And so we're just, that's kind of what we're focused on. And what we found is that there's a lot of, I don't want to use like too broad of sweeping terms, but there's few people that focus specifically on this part of the market, and that's all we do.
Yeah,
So
I find it.
Do you have an actual?
Finish your food. Finish your food. I got something.
No,
Okay.
no, I got something. Do you guys actually have like
your mouth full. Go ahead.
Well, that's fine. It's fine. I always got a mouthful. Usually bullshit, man. Had to eat, dude. I had to eat. I need some brain power here. Do you guys have like a physical showroom too? Are you like open to the public or?
So that's a great question. So what I would want to make clear is that we're purely a sales agency. So we're not a broker. We don't hold inventory. We're the sales team. So just like every OEM has a dealer sales team and territories, we're the same thing, but we leave the dealers, the sales team that handle the dealers alone, and we do specifically commercial. So if somebody were to work with us, like we just got this question last night, it's one of the most common questions. They're like, hey, so how much does it cost to sign up with KCBK Group, or what's the pass through or whatever? If anybody listening wants to buy any of the brands we offer, you transact directly with the brands. We're just the sales team. So no showroom. Well, I should say actually, so KCBK Group doesn't have a showroom, but we utilize our OEMs. So people will go visit Regal and do a plant tour, or visit CPro, or visit Stingray or Aloha, and that's been awesome.
So
that's pretty interesting business model.
Is KCBK kind of like a replacement for having like internal sales teams for Regal and just the manufacturers, or are you kind of like an accessory to that?
Yeah, I would say we're a supplement. Okay. Just in general, I think OEM sales teams are focused on dealers. That's the majority of their business. That's the core. Yeah. Their internal teams are focused on that. Their build cycles, everything about their business, just in general terms, is focused on the way that dealers transact. And so we plug in to OEMs who want to learn about, rentals and clubs, and who are willing to be flexible and, partner with us. And we say, hey, look, you build boats, you're good at that. Your dealer team is out there selling to dealers, and our specialty is, bringing rental and club customers to you and giving them a direct relationship. Whereas before, we hear all kinds of things, I'm sure you guys do too, about how different operators get their boats. It could be like, Facebook and Craigslist. It could be they're buying off a boat trader. It could be they're buying, new old inventory off of a dealer lot. And what we're trying to do is just make it super simple for both like the rental operators to get boats, but simple for the OEMs to understand how they can reach all these water sports operators, because that's historically not the core of their business.
Is it like a challenge getting to the manufacturers, because like their traditional model is like having a showroom floor and a floor plan and having like a minimum requirement of boats that are being sold to you? Is that like a bit of a pitch itself when you go to them?
It has been, and in some cases we've had to not work with certain partners that we thought maybe would be a good fit, and as we dug into it, like they just weren't willing to be flexible in that way, and that's fine. Regal, as an example, they were already doing that. So for them, it was like, great, you guys are going to focus on this. This is a net positive. It's an incremental gain to what we're doing. But yeah, as we've onboarded more partners, we have the conversation of like, hey, look, there's no minimum orders. Somebody might need like 1 or 2 boats, and you need to let them order that. They get, dealer cost. It's not some type of like inflated thing. That's been a big part of the conversation, is like, well, why no minimum, and why should they get, really good direct pricing? And so we've had to explain and educate, like, hey, look, the model is completely different than the dealer model. They're not taking these boats and buying, onesie twosie boats or 10 or 30. There's obviously larger operators, but they're not selling them. They need to make money on that boat from day one. They need to drop it in the water, rent it, tour it, whatever they do, and be making money on day one. And then in 2 years or 3 years, or whenever they decide to sell it, that boat's going to have several hundred or 1,000 hours on it. And so they need to buy it at a price that when they sell it, they're not completely upside down. And so once we explain that, they get it. They're like, okay, yeah, it's like totally different model. And yeah.
I don't think any of the manufacturers have really figured out the rental program. Now, I have to give credit to BRP and Sea-Doo. Yeah. Their dealer program has been very successful. Every operator that uses Sea-Doo was a blip on the radar 10 years ago. Nobody. I had a jet ski operation. I would never consider Sea-Doo. And then they made
room that like your guys are like, yeah, I can figure out a fuel pump, you know, but now we're gonna like try and rebuild this injector or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It says so where they step in and they're like, yeah, you know, like this is what the model should look like. You should be getting rid of these every year. You should be doing X, Y, Z, and we're gonna teach your guys how to work on that rather than knucklehead backyard mechanic doing his thing. So I definitely see the upside of it. For us, we're Yamaha guys. We have Yamaha mechanics. Like it just makes sense for us, you know, rather than our guys having to learn those products.
But even the Yamaha, they started with their financing program. Like they're trying to get into that dealer program as well, because I think they're realizing that for rental companies, having to just go to the dealer and buy just isn't the path. Like you need to actually have a program where after so many hours, the skis get sold and new ones are bought. And because I had a ski business, like once they get to 400 or 500 hours, they're not rentable at that point. Like you have to rotate them because things go wrong and you don't want to have a fleet of boats or skis crapping out in the middle of July. Like one or two skis down can cost thousands of dollars of revenue. So, you know, you can't operate a legitimate operation with a bunch of used skis with 1,000 hours. Like it's just, you can't. So these dealer programs are pretty important. And I'm just surprised that pontoon manufacturers have not really dialed into it, which is why, like when you came to us, Brian, I'm like, this is so perfect for our community because there's not Polaris tried to do a dealer program, but they just ended that last year. And they had, I guess, I don't know why it wasn't successful. I'm sure I could talk to some of the operators that did it, but I know there's a way.
Yeah. Let me tell you this, dude. Like, you know, I'm already like lining up your first customer for you right now because like we just had the conversation today. Like boats 1 through 7 gotta go. We fucking need. We're gonna need 7 new fucking boats. You know what I mean? So let's get into that for a second. Was this like was this a brainchild of yours, or did you guys see somebody else doing this? Do you have competitors in this market, or?
You know, I got to give the credit to my dad for the original idea because, you know, like I said, I was off doing other stuff. I had my own career and, you know, we'd always get back together in Washington and boat all summer, but it was, you know, this was like his business. And so when we started talking, he was explaining this to me. I mean, it makes perfect sense. Like it didn't take any convincing to go like, okay, well, if rental operators are underserved, then like, yeah, we should build a business around serving them. To my knowledge, there's not a company out there like ours. You know, I think there's OEMs that like they have rental programs and they offer something similar, but you know, their team is also focused on dealer business, and those two, you know, the timelines of those are a little bit incompatible, right? You know, dealers have their timelines and they're focused on retail, and so their sales team are focused on retail, and that's what we found is like nobody's focusing and giving credence to you know, rental operators. So to my knowledge, like we're the only ones that do this specifically.
No, KLGF group just got formed in my brain.
Oh boy. Well, did you get that non-compete I sent you before this meeting? Or?
Yeah, dude, because I'm not gonna lie, that I have a business right now that happened, and I was like, I mean, it happened mid-podcast. I was like, this is so great, you know? Like, and I'm like, I'm doing this, man. And now today they're like, hate Kevin O'Neill because we granted about 30-40% of market share in like 18 months because it turns out this platform was worth something else to me that I didn't know, you know?
Yeah.
No, yeah. I promise you, I'm not going to do that.
Everybody heard it there good. First. That trailer's not happening anymore. Kevin ruined it for you.
No, man. No, I'm good. I'm not. Look, any more new businesses for me, dude. I'm not going to be able to do 35-day trips anywhere, or, you know, go to Tokyo or anything like that, dude. I'm good on any more new businesses, man. I'm to the fucking hill, man. No, it's super interesting, super smart. And I guess like now, like I get to my own, like I said, like buying boats. You know, I guess so. Let's talk about Aloha as a brand, because we do have a huge constituency of listeners that are in that game that do buy pontoon boats. I mean, what are you guys powering? Like specifically, what's that model look like that you guys are doing with the rentals? I'm interested.
So Aloha is, I think I was talking to Greg earlier, and forgive me if I already mentioned this, but their model is really interesting. As an OEM, they're kind of flipped. Most of their business is already commercial, and so we're coming in to kind of help them hopefully do that better and amplify what they're already doing. But they want more commercial business, and they need more dealer business too. So anybody listening, if you want to be a dealer, that's also an option with Aloha. But yeah, so for anybody that wants an Aloha, they're powering with all three. They got Mercury, Yamaha, and Suzuki.
Wow.
They'll, they have some great, options in boats, from their starting point to their high-end custom stuff. But there's a real sweet spot in there. And what I would say about Aloha is they're built very uniquely, and their whole premise down at that factory is to build boats that stand up to commercial use, period. They also happen to look really cool and work for retail, but their focus has been on, building boats that really stand the test of time. And you can see it by the way they're constructed. If you just look at them, they use that 2-inch aluminum tubing all around the boat with the acrylic, impact resistant panels that bolt on with an impact driver, right? How many? Really? Yeah, when you walk the docks at a pontoon rental, how many boats with fencing are caved in, or the front door has been blown off by a wave or whatever? Like,
yes.
So they've kind of solved that problem, and more people don't know about it. So we're trying to evangelize that from the rooftops. Yeah, man.
No, dude, like it's a battle that I fight with my staff all day. I'm like, at what part of this fencing do you think is fucking acceptable? I'm like, pull the seats, fucking, we can't do it. I'm like, no, pull the fucking rail, replace the whole fencing. And then they're in there riveting all the fencing in. And it's like the gates, like the front gates, dude. I went down there just last week, and I'm like, oh my God, man, fucking. I'm like, these gates look like shit. And they're like, well, we keep on fucking riveting. And now it's so that it's not double layered. It's that thin fucking bullshit. And then it's never the same as manufactured. So it's like the gates wobbly. Customers complain about it. My gauges, dude. My gauges are constantly fucking breaking. I'm going through our customer conversations, and it's the number one thing I hear a complaint about. Because why? Well, they use all the fucking cheap wiring, and the fucking gauges are the first thing to fucking go. Yeah. And so, and why? Like, we have Bentleys. Why did we get Bentleys? Because they were 35 grand, and then they run super bow heavy, and they fucking dive, and we, you know what I mean? And it's a constant war that we're fighting versus like, buying a quality boat. And let that to be my next question to you is, like, retail wise, I mean, what do you guys end up getting some of these for? Where do they start? Where do they finish? And I know that's in our market, it's usually like 70s are going to be on the back, Yamaha, 60s with the Mercs. And then guys will go up to like 150s on some of the more like, because we're volume, dude. We're putting so many hours, so many miles every single day that it just 150s don't make sense for us in this market. But down in the Keys, a little bit different. They're looking at 90s. They're looking at 150s. But like, I want to talk to the Destin market because that's our biggest listener group. Sure. Our guys who are buying these 70s, usually, what are they? I forget, 23 foot, 24 foot, 12 passenger. Yeah. What do you guys walk out of the door with those?
Yeah. So, somebody wanted a boat today. Just looking at like standard options for like a 22, 23 foot Aloha with like a 115 on it would be right in the low 40s. Now just to be honest, we haven't had the conversation with them about lower power. I know that exists, and I'm positive they can do that. They can also pre-rig. They do a lot of business with pre-rigs. So, I think it's kind of like a question of like, what do you want? What's the customer demand? I mean, heck,
low 40s aren't bad. With the 150, that's really good.
Well, 115, but that same boat with a 150 is still mid 40s. It's
yeah.
So, but there's a lot of, I would say that the Aloha pricing, like compared to the example you gave, it's a really good value, but you have to understand the few things like that go into it. We mentioned the fencing. I mean, talk to me about how many times you have like furniture issues, right?
I got a full vinyl shop, dude. My wife was down there fixing bimini tops today. She and one of the other guys that work for us, which is another thing. I'm like, I can't have you, like, you quit being a nurse so you could take care of our kids.
Yeah.
You have built a full vinyl shop in our fucking, you know what I mean? Welding,
Yeah.
dude. That's the other thing. Like, we're constantly fixing brackets because they don't do the reinforced M brackets, the pontoons to the frames. Like, it is a nonstop war. And then, like, always, like, the question of, hey, where are we at on the life of this boat? I still haven't figured this out, right? Like, of holding, rebuilding versus flipping and repurposing after, is it 3 years? Is it 4 years? Is it 5 years? I'm assuming you guys kind of come in with the OEMs with a little bit of, we'll call it consultancy or ideas on that as well.
Well, yeah, and that's part of the reason why we have, why we have some partners that aren't just boats and trailers, right? I mentioned the financing, and we work with JB&B Capital. They're a equipment financer, but they have a whole marine division. And so, I mean, we hear this all the time as, folks struggle getting their credit union to understand the fact that they're renting boats and how does the loan work and whatever. JB&B is a plug and play. They do it all day. They'll finance, boats, trailers, docks, trucks, forklifts, dry stack, like any asset, any hard asset, they'll finance it.
Will they do builds do they do builds on like custom boats? So typically, like a construction build rather than a build against an asset, because like we had that problem with getting loans on to get something that hasn't been built yet. That doesn't exist.
That's a good question. Well, I don't want to say yes or no. I wouldn't be surprised if yes, because in the end, once it's built, right, it's a hard asset. So
yeah, for us, we had to do so because the way we did it was that, like, so we had to put the first, like, so we're getting built a 49 passenger catamaran right now. And so initially, like, same thing, like our bank was like, we can figure it out for you, but this isn't just something we're going to be able to give you, $500,000 and then make the payments on it. It was like, we put half down and then they gave us like 5 construction loans because the boat's getting built in phases. So we're paying for it in phases. So then we can draw from that construction, which is just a way different animal than getting like a 5-year commercial loan or 10-year commercial loan on $500,000. So, and a lot of times, like, we wouldn't have been able to do that if we didn't have the relationship already established, liquidity requirements in the bank account. And so there's a lot of guys that are getting into this industry that don't have the relationship, are just getting started, that like want to finance the boats, that want to finance a boat build. And they're like, I don't have $1 million or $500,000 laying around. You know what I mean? Like, how do I go get a loan for this without having some of the relationship already built in with the banks already? So, man, hey, by the way, just want to let you know, I told you from the beginning that I would fucking be able to pitch you no problem, which I think I'm doing a great fucking job of, if I may say so myself.
Checks in the mail, Kevin. Checks in the mail.
Don't worry, dude. I'm not going to use it to start a competing business. No, but it's what you guys are doing is so fucking smart, dude.
Thanks, man. Well,
hats off to you guys, man.
Yeah, we just feel like it makes sense, like our goal is to be able to walk in, talk to any rental business that exists and solve one or more problems for them, right? Is it buying boats? Is it financing boats? Is it getting rid of your boats? Is it some type of wacky creative thinking? I mean, we really believe in the idea of pay it forward. So we've connected folks with other brands that we have zero affiliation with and don't get paid on, just so they get what they need for their business. Like we tell people all the time, they're like, hey, if you have like something weird or random that you want us to track down and you don't have time for it, tell us what it is and we'll go try.
Hell yeah.
So
talk about the liquidation, Brian. Like, how does that work? Because I know a lot of people, they post things on our Facebook group. They're trying to liquidate their boats. Yeah. Like, there's got to be an easier way of doing it, right?
There is. And it depends. There's some people are really good at selling on like Boat Trader or Facebook Marketplace, or, if they have a local broker that charges them a fee or whatever, like those are all great outlets. We refer a lot of business over to Pop Sells, which people might know by Pop Yachts. They
Correct.
do.
Yep.
They're a massive online marketplace for RVs and boats. But on their marine side specifically, the history with them is their business has built to the place it is mostly on that like peer-to-peer just marketplace, right? They're now focusing a lot more on their commercial side, which is developing these relationships with rental and club companies to help them liquidate their old fleets. Because again, as a general rule, right, your average rental company, they're focused on their boat rentals and running that part of their business. They might not have a team or want to devote team members to going and selling boats. So if that part can be like turnkey and simple, then they're happy to, pawn that off. And so Pop is cool because first of all, POP, paid on performance. They don't charge a fee unless they actually sell it for you. It's 10% of the sales value, but they handle the entire thing. So it's like having a real estate agent come on site and sell your boat for you. So, okay, Kevin, you have 5 boats you want to sell. You call Pop. The Pop consultant comes to your property, takes, all the photos of each boat, makes all the listings, markets it, talks to you about what your desired selling price is and what your absolute lowest is, so that if they get lowball offers, they can handle that for you without having to ping you every time. But when they have a buyer, they do the whole sales process, the whole transaction, and then they cut you a check.
Yeah, and I can't say enough, like, as far as like being able to pencil some of this stuff, right? Like, penciling water sports is a super challenging a super challenging aspect of this business, because you just have so many fluctuating costs all the time. So to be able to like kind of put pen to paper on that and say like, all right, like we know this thing's going to depreciate, like in a standard market with a standard boat, you're going to lose, call it 30-40% of the value when if you're going to go flip it in 3 years. But with these rentals and how much of a beating they take, like you've got to plan for on your books, on your balance sheet and profit and loss, that, hey, we're going to lose 70% or better, call it 80%. And here's what our yearly costs are going to be. And granted, they're not even good. This isn't even going to be like a fixed metric, but at least like that variable, that, hey, we're like, we go with Pop Yachts, let's say, and here's our minimum, here's our maximum. Now we can plan over, call it next 3 years, 5 years, whatever you're going to hold for. And now it makes more sense to go, well, did we pencil in all these repairs, all these things, because we went with a Bentley rather than Aloha, and now the resale value is going to be even less because that boat's going to be so beat to shit. Maybe there's higher quality vinyl, higher, for the fencing, like all these things that you can piece into the actual calculus of what the cost of every single rental you put out, because those numbers. And even to the point of like holding these boats, because you're going to put them on Craigslist, stick to this hard number that you think you're going to get, rather than being like, hey man, like we want to get rid of this at XYZ. We're willing to get rid of it for this. If you can get $8,000 for it, great. If you can get $5,000 for it, whatever, let's get it out of here. We've already got it penciled into our numbers so that we know what our margin's going to look like and where we can be at on the next purchase and round of purchasing on the vessels. And this is what Enterprise does, notice, which is why they have an entire like enterprise rental sales fleet.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and another cool thing about the Pop model is, if you think like, you're going to work with a broker or you're going to sell it yourself. I mean, most of the time, right, people are pulling boats out, they're cleaning them up, they're putting them on a parking lot or, somewhere, and you're not able to rent that boat while you're trying to sell it.
Yeah.
With the Pop model, you can leave that boat in the water and keep renting it until you have a buyer that makes a serious offer and it goes, and then you pull it out, out of service. So you've not lost, a week or 3 weeks or however long it takes to sell that boat. So, I mean, that's super cool. And, their average sales radius is 500 miles, but they all the time get people buying boats sight unseen from across the country. because their listings and their reputation are so good. And so like where I'm going with this is we talk to folks all the time where they're like, hey man, I want to buy this type of boat, this type of boat from you. And it rents really good in my market, but the resale is terrible in my market for whatever reason. And so we say, okay, well, great. Like, sell this other batch of boats yourself because they rent and they sell well in your market. But these ones, bring them into your rental fleet, make a bunch of money, and then list those ones with POP, and they'll sell them to, 4 states away where they're in high demand. So
10% a good commission actually for the amount of work that they would do if they're going to come on site, take pictures, list it, handle all the buyer communication. I mean, just the other day, I was telling my wife about how much of a pain in the ass it is to sell shit on Marketplace. Like the constant buyer. I mean, I literally spend more time going back and forth with dozens of people asking dumb questions than I would making this $50 on selling this thing on Marketplace. Like, I know we're talking like $30,000, $40,000 sales, but at the same time, if you think about 10%, $3,000, $4,000, how much time your team is you're taking to sell, that's probably works out about the same about as far as how much time you're investing into selling that piece of equipment.
Well, not to mention if you're a lean and mean team and it's like, if it's you and like a mechanic and then maybe, 1 or 2 other people and you're all, there's a group of like 3 or 4 of you, you're probably like running hard and fast to manage the rental side of your business and to not even have to think about the selling part. I mean, you literally just like call your POP person and be like, hey man, I got 3 more boats from you. Can you come next week? Great. Boom. They show up and it's just, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. My partner who handles all this, like who's going to be reaching out to you, dude. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And because we do love this kind of stuff, man. We love these like plug and play solutions because it's constantly, we've got a car rental business, like I mentioned, Enterprise, right? Well, I've got 15 vehicles in our fleet. I've got 35 pontoons and 15 jet skis. We did bounce houses for a little while, like inflatable bounce houses for rent. No, nice. Horrible, terrible. I'm going to call back that guy who did the podcast and be like, I think you're a liar. This business is horrible.
How many weekends were you like clean and throw up off a bounce house?
Oh, bro, dude! Like, my staff was just like, "What are you doing?" I mean, we did it because we just wanted. I wanted some additional revenue in the off season. I figured for fall it'd be really good, but because of that, we ended up doing like Christmas light installations, which is our other business, which is a killer business for 6 weeks. Bring a couple $100,000 in, keeps my guys working. I love it. We got rid of the bounce houses, but now every weekend we make a post on Facebook on these things, and it's like his responsibility to go inflate up some bounce houses, show them to a prospective buyer. You know what I mean? Like, and it's a nightmare for him on the buying and selling part of it because he's got to manage all these listings and update them and reply to comments and answer the DMs and fucking go through all the rigmarole. It's every time we want to sell something, dude. So, totally. I mean, the value in that piece of what you guys are doing, man, super smart. And so I'm sure he'll be very happy to get an order going for our next round of boats. And then, because that would be the next thing headache in his brain is like, fuck, dude, I'm going to have to sell all these 7 boats. And his history was he was actually a boat salesman at one of our dealerships and hated it. And I'm like, dude, come run this business with me. Stop fucking selling boats and fucking rent them out at Destiny Water Adventures. And I finally got him to quit. And so every time he's got to turn around, be that guy on Facebook again. He's like, oh my God, I'm over it.
I also bet. I bet Pop knows the selling price to get more. It's just like when you hire a realtor, right? Like when you hire a realtor, you're going to get more for your house because they just know how to sell a house, right? So like that's definitely another, you might pay 10%, but you also might get 10% more because you're listing it and plus with their network, they probably have buyers that might want that specific piece of equipment and have people already lined up. I love it. I think it's just a great service. I would 100% use it. If I started my ski business, I would definitely use something like that.
Yeah, it's a cool way to go. By the way, Mary Taylor from JB&B just texted me as we were talking. The answer is yes on your custom boat building question, Kevin.
Okay.
So he said they have a couple different ways to do it depending on how the manufacturer needs to be paid, or the companies need to be paid for it. So
look at that. What a hustler, dude. I saw you pulling up your inventory on the pontoon boat question. I saw you going like looking it up, dude. I'm like, and sending out. So at the end of the day, dude, I don't gotta say it was enough, dude. But like anytime like I work with somebody on the physical business side, it's like, this is the kind of shit that I look for, especially in sales, dude. Like the guy that's willing to like break his fucking back to get you answers, dude, like in real time, or get back to you, that level of communication, man.
Yeah.
Like I just, only knowing you here for about the last hour, dude. Like, I mean, it just seems like you guys are smart. I can see that. And it sounds like very hardworking. So, well, I mean,
thank you.
I'm ready to go,
blind
dude.
squirrel finds a nut, we do. We love it. We honestly, like, we really love it. It's a family business. It's my dad, myself, my sister's involved. She does all of our marketing. And then my mom is our executive everything. In fact, KCBK stands for Kyle, Cheryl, my parents, Brian, Kelly, me and my sister. So, but we love it, man.
Awesome.
We tell people all the time, man, our phone is on 7 days a week, not because we're like working ourselves to the bone, but like that's when, if something happens in the weekend, like we need to be available. And we're talking about boats, man. Like we work with people that we like. So at the end of the day,
but I like you, dude. I like you a whole lot, man. I'm gonna come visit you guys in Colorado, dude, on the next run, man.
Yeah, man, next RV trip.
Yeah. And when you guys get here, like, please, man, come to Destiny, come hang out, man. We've got a little beach on the Sound. We're actually the only beach rental business like in my market, because everybody's like either in the harbor. So when people come down to Destiny, I like to think they get that same kind of family treatment too. You know what I mean? We got the beach chairs set out for it's on the Sound, not on the ocean side. But still, we got a little beach out there for them, things to do for the kids. Like I'm very much of that mindset that, we are in the service business. We are in the people business. And so it is incumbent upon, like, dude, I can't even tell you, like, just from this podcast, the emails, the DMs, like where it gets to a point where I'm like, I'm like, oh man, like there's only so many people I can assist at this moment. You know what I mean?
I'm just happy that we have a guy that when someone wants to buy boats, because we have a couple people for skis, but for boats, we never had a sponsor or someone that kind of is committed to our community that actually wants to deal. And I think for custom boats, we've had a handful of new sponsors come in. We have A&M and Trident, a couple for the tikis, but we haven't had anyone yet for pontoons, pontoon manufacturer. Yeah.
All rentals. Like Greg just thinks everybody rents pontoons. I just rented I don't know, it was like an 82-foot like azimuth or something like that in Miami. And oh yeah, I mean it was about 20 years old and fucking been through the ringer, but it had a jacuzzi, and the kids that were with us for the Miami Music Fest were like, oh my God, they just like, Kevin, you must be a billionaire. And I'm like, no, it was actually very reasonable for the 8 of us, but you guys don't know boats, and I know this thing. Been a little beat up here, man. We went for size, not for class on this one, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, kids won't know the difference. They just know they had a palace there. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, dude, it was an amazing experience, and that was like enlightening. Like I rented it, I had to get it from Boat Center just because the bareboat charter industry in like Miami and Lauderdale is such a fucking mess. Like it's just like you're going through like, brokers, like, these bareboat yacht charters are not to the standard of like actual yacht charters where you have third mates and, 100-ton, 250-ton unlimited captains. And so like I saw, like my eyes were open to a way different type of rental experience that I'm used to. So, forgive my friend here, but yeah, it's not just pontoon boats, ladies and gentlemen. Brian servicing like the greater boat rental community of really cool center consoles and bayliners and, that kind of shit.
Not bayliners, but we know those guys. They're cool. But
was it Regal, right? Regal.
Yeah, Regal, Stingray, and Sea Pro, and also shout out to Coach Pontoons, which is owned by Sea Pro. They're doing a total revamp, so more to come. But they're gonna have something totally different than a lot of folks, and we're super excited to share that. Maybe by October, actually, we might have something.
You're going to bring some boats, right, to the event?
We're for sure going to bring some boats in the water. Okay. So, you know,
wow,
that's what we're there to drive boats, right? You know, like
a lot of these guys, man, they don't want to do it. You know what I mean? They're like, I got to pay the money to bring it. And I'm just like, look, dude, no balls, no baby here, man. Like, I appreciate you writing the check, dude. But at the end of the day, dude, you're marketing your shit. And it's so funny how many like of our corporate people, even ones that sell marketing services sometimes, are terrible at marketing their own shit. You know, great at marketing fucking my stuff. But when it comes to their own businesses, it's like, all right, you got to get creative. You got to fucking stir up some fucking shit, show people some stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, spend some money here, man. You know, give me all of your money. I'm happy to do it. But at the same point in time, like, bring your stuff, dude. Like, show everybody. And we got all the space for it, man. Like, we got on the water, in the lot. Like, this year's port is going to be a banger. And it is fucking 100% due to sponsors like you guys that are willing to fucking take the risk on two knuckleheads from North Florida that fucking rent boats online and rent boats on the water and fucking provide res tech and boat tests, and then decided to get in the conference arena. But same things here. Like, we're all here to be in service of you guys, and for you guys to be fucking in service back to us, and making sure that we have an amazing event for these guys and get some deals done for everybody. Because that's the way this whole thing works, is everybody's. I had my buddy says all the time, man, fucking, I got plenty of room in my life for fucking friends that want to make money together, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
amen to that. Amen to that, man. I love getting those calls where it's like, hey, man, I'm so glad you talked me into buying this or that or whatever. It's exactly what I needed. My members love it. Like, it rents every day. Like, I mean, that's why we do it. It's super fun. You know, it's super fun to get those calls.
Yeah, dude. And then, like, when you are out traveling, man, and you like go and visit those friends that are doing that cool thing in that area, and you guys get to like actually commune together and have some fucking fun as like the thing that you do to make money. But it's like, oh, this is actually super awesome for us too. Yeah. And yeah, man, thank you so much for coming on the show, dude, and telling us your story.
Oh, I'm absolutely pumped and thrilled to be, you know, partnering with you guys. We can't wait for October, but I'm gonna actually, I told Greg I'm gonna be down in Destin with my family in the first week of June. So just to your point, we're gonna rent a double-decker slide boat for my daughter's birthday, and we're gonna do the whole Crab Island thing. And they're like, you know, I told my family, it's like, that's a work trip, you know. how lucky are we that like that's a work trip? So.
Yeah, I wish I had, man, maybe I'll just go buy a double decker just to fucking have for you when you get here, dude. I feel bad. That's not my game, you know what I mean?
I know someone you could buy it from.
Don't this say guy. Beach Week. Oh, okay.
This guy, Brian Aloha, come on.
Well, dude, we gotta get into that game, man. So we haven't in the past, you know, because shout out to Chris Marine Granite Insurance, who can get that stuff insured now. But my insurance guy in the past was kind of a little bit of a bear about it. You know what I mean? He was like, oh, well, I don't know the insurance. I'm like, well, how the rest of these guys got them, dude? They got to have insurance on them. So I think we're going to get into that game, man. So that'll definitely be a conversation that we can have. And, you know, at the very least, man, maybe we can grab some dinner after your Crab Island trip.
I love that. Absolutely. That'd be great.
Cool, man.
All right, guys. Well, Brian, thanks again for coming on the show. And if people want to learn more about you or KCBK Group, how can they get in contact with you?
You can go to kcbkgroup.com. You can email me directly, brian@kcbkgroup.com. And if you do that, you'll get my phone number as well. I don't know if I want to put that on the interwebs, but you know, website, we're easy to find. We'll pick up our phone. We answer unknown numbers. You know, we're just like that. So I'm really looking forward to meeting some new folks.
Cool. All right. And as always, guys, keep it awkward.
Oh, great.